How's it going, everybody? Carlos Pazzi here with drummingforall.com. I have a very cool announcement, and it involves what's inside this snare bag. So I reached out to Wendle Drum Company. These guys are a brand new drum company. They just started very recently, and I found them online. They have absolutely gorgeous custom drums. And so I said, let me talk to these guys. Let me try to set up some kind of partnership. So I'm going to do a review on this snare drum. This is a one-of-a-kind snare. I'm going to do a review on it. And then I'm going to put the snare up for sale on the drummingforall.com website. When it sells, Wendle has agreed to allow for a portion of the sale to go to the program, and then they'll get the rest to pay for overhead. And obviously, they're a new company, so they definitely need to start bringing some money in. So we're gonna essentially, all ships rise with the tide. It's my second favorite quote of all time. We are gonna help each other out. They're gonna get some eyes on their product. We're gonna get some money for the program. Before I open this up and talk to you about the specs of this thing, I want to talk to you guys a little bit. I just want to tell you the story of Wendle Drum Company. And essentially this just comes from a place of respect. I think that the story is a very unfortunate series of events that brought Wendle Drum Company to life, similar to, I imagine like a flower coming from concrete, like something nice that came from something very unfortunate. So this is out of respect for Rod and Luca, the two gentlemen who started this company. So Rod has been a woodworker for his whole life. Luca has been a drummer his whole life. And unfortunately, last year, Rod's wife very suddenly passed away, very young. Rod, our hearts go out to you, us in the drummers community. We feel for you, and we hope that you're doing as best as you possibly can under these circumstances. And so Rod found himself in his shop, working on whatever, just to keep himself distracted. And he decided to make some snare drums. So he made 2 snare shells, took them over to Luca's house, and said, look what I made. And Luca went, oh my gosh, let's put some hoops on these, let's put some lugs on them, let's put a head on them. Luca knew what the next step was. Rod knew how to build the shell. And Wendle Drum Company was born. And the name comes from Rod's wife was named Wendy, and Luca's nickname for her was Wendle, and so they decided to call it Wendle Drum Company. So again, I tell the story because I feel for Rod. I know that everybody watching this will as well. Rod, like I said before, we're all pulling for you to hopefully just find a way through this. And here in the drummers community, all the drummers around the world are all a part of this special group of people who love this instrument, and now we get to share in what you guys have created. So this is out of respect for Wendy, and I'm very much looking forward to working with you guys and growing this company and letting people know about these spectacular drums. So let's get to it. Let's talk about this drum. This thing is majestic. This one-of-a-kind Wendle Drum Company snare is a 5.5 by 14 solid cedar stave built drum. It has die-cast hoops, beautiful tube lugs, a set of 30-strand snare wires, a trick throw-off, and a 45-degree bearing edge for brighter tone and focused attack. Let's enjoy just a little bit more B-roll before we start talking about this beautiful drum. All right, so you got to see the B-roll footage. However, I shot that after opening this, so this is the first time I've seen this. I did see a picture of it online, but they threw die-cast hoops on it. This is my first time seeing it in person, so let's crack this thing open. You guys already know how gorgeous it is. Every Wendle drum is going to come in a case, so you will receive this case when you buy this drum and any other Wendle drums that you get. And also, it's got a top pocket here, and every Wendle snare drum comes with a Evans magnetic key. These things are awesome. All Wendle snares come with Evans, unless you want something else instead. But why would you? Evans snare heads are amazing. Let's take a look at this thing. Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. So, like I said, you guys already saw this, but this is my first time seeing it. Absolutely gorgeous, solid cedar. This is a stave construction drum. So we won't talk about it too much right now, but there's different ways to build a drum. The most standard way, certainly every other drum in this room besides this one, is a ply-based construction. So they just take thin pieces of plywood, they wrap them together, they glue them, they compress them, and there's your drum. This is a totally different thing. They actually take solid pieces, so in this case solid cedar, solid pieces of cedar, and they attach them together, they sand it down, and there's your drum. So this thing is heavy. It's definitely going to cut down on, you can hear it, oof. It's definitely going to cut down on the overtone and the ringiness just by virtue of being so heavy. This thing is wicked, and they put an HD dry head on top of it with the little vent holes. So this thing, I don't expect this thing to ring forever. I think it's going to be a really tight, crunchy sound. Let's pop this thing on and take a listen. All right. Let's take a listen. Oof. So already we can tell it's got a nice pop to it. All right. And again, it's been just barely tuned up. Good. Oh man. All right, let's actually let's play around with it. Let's tune it up. So again, this thing hasn't really been messed with, right? They put it together, they tuned it up, maybe played a little bit, but this head has been untouched except for my couple taps. So I'm guessing that they didn't do much with this other than construct it and confirm that it indeed was ready to go. So it's going to need some tuning. I'm just going to, right out of the gate, just going to tune it up a little bit on the top. You can hear the head kind of crackling a little bit. Put some pressure on it. Make sure you get a nice view of this thing. It's tight on the top. So let's tighten it a little bit on the bottom. Again, let's just put some pressure on it. These are brand new heads. Everything here is brand new. I also think it's going to take a little time to give, to really come into its own as a drum. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Now let's get to that beautiful trick throw off. Okay, so here it is off. Oof, that just sounds good. Got my other snares rattling. Snares are off. Changed my camera angle so you can see the snare a bit better. I hear a snare! Alright, how about now? Let's see. Good. I love the sound of this snare with the snares off. I love it. All right, so snare on. Super tight, crisp, snappy. Oh, I love this friggin' thing. Maybe I'll buy it. All right. And there's no ring on it, right? There's like for example, I'm a big fan of the Evans rings. Here. Before. After. If you want it even tighter and crispier, you put a ring on it. You can put a gel on it. I'd prefer nothing on it. I better stop playing this thing pretty soon. So I like, you know, you do want some of that crisp. You want a little bit of that ring, but it's not this overtone. It's not this excessive thing. It's very, very, like, generous. My goodness, this thing is serious. All right. I'm going to stop playing it now before I affect the resale value. All right, guys, that'll do it. Big thank you to Rod and Luca over at Wendle Drum Company. The link to the website is below. This exact drum, unless it's already sold, is for sale on drummingforall.com for $600 plus taxes and shipping and all that. 60% of that will go to Wendle, and 40% of that, which is a lot, is going to go to the Drumming for All program. So again, thanks to you guys, and I thoroughly look forward to working with Wendle in the future. Take care, guys.